netizens, back with me again, Ajigo Tamaputrada. I am your lecturer for operating systems. This is our fifth meeting. We are discussing about concurrency case study. We are now at the second video and we are going to talk about the problems. So in the last video, we mentioned that first we discussed that there is a thing called consumer and producer problem, and we mentioned that there are three problems in the consumer producer problem, and we have discussed the first problem, which is don't consume and produce at the same time. But don't forget there are two more problems that we haven't discussed. So here we are going to discuss about the second problem and the third problem. This one, this one. So what is problem 2? Here we are talking about the producer. For example, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 empty spaces in the buffer, and the producer produces 5 times. It then fills the buffer 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the buffer is full. And what happens if the producer produces again before the consumer consumes the buffer? It will produce and fill and will fill this allowed area of the memory. This is this allowed area, and the result is, of course, error. So the second problem is the producer cannot fill the buffer when the buffer is full. And how do we solve this? Of course, we solve it with semaphore. As we know, semaphore can block a process when the conditions are met. So we design a semaphore that will block the producer when the buffer is full. So what is problem 3? Problem 3 is basically the opposite of problem 2, where here we illustrate now the condition is that the buffer is full. The buffer is full and the consumer consumes 5 times. Consume, 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 consume. And now the buffer is empty and the producer is not producing anything, and the consumer consumes again from the buffer. What happens? It will consume an empty address, which the consequences are consuming an empty address will lead to, of course, we know it will lead to error. So problem 3 is consumer shall not take from the buffer when the buffer is empty. And how do we implement this? Of course, with semaphore. And again, semaphore has the capability to block a process when the conditions are met. So we create a condition where when the buffer is empty, the consumer that wants to access the buffer will be blocked. So that are the three problems of the consumer and producer problem. So that is the end of our second video. In this video, we have successfully discussed about three problems of consumer producer problem. In the next video, we will discuss about more about the first problem. Thank you for your attention. Let's meet in the next video.